It was Sheikha Hind Al Maktoum, the most mysterious wife of one of the wealthiest men in the world and ruler of Dubai. It was true that Sheikh Mohammed had 6 wives. They either ran away from him or he threw them out himself, and Hind is the only one who lives with him for almost half 100 years and had 12 children. Is she married and happy? Why did the Guinness Book of Records list their wedding? And did she have plans for the Sheikh's other wives? Don't forget to like our video and follow us. Allow us to begin. Hind Al Maktoum is the First Lady of Dubai. She is also the mother of Crown Prince Sheikh Hamdan. She was born on February 12, 1962, and is from the Al Maktoum family, which rules Dubai. Her mother, Sheikha, was the daughter of Saeed II, the king of Dubai. Traditional Islamic practices say that the girl was raised at home. She stayed in the palace almost the whole time. It was like fate was getting her ready for a strange task. Hind had known Sheikh Mohammed since she was a child because she was a second cousin on both sides of Mohammed's family tree. When she turned 17 in 1979, it was the most important year in her life. For Hind and Mohammed to get married, both sets of parents agreed. Sheikh Mohammed was in charge of Dubai's police and military at the time. He was 30 years old and had already had a good time being single. Before getting married to Hind, the man had a daughter named Manal with a Lebanese woman. Randa, the woman. Mohammed's family must have had enough of his affairs and wanted to show the world that he was now married. To clear up any confusion, the wedding was planned on a level that had never been seen before. There were political undertones to the fancy party as well. As oil sales brought in a lot of money for the Emirates, they wanted to show the rest of the world how far they had come. The first big event in Dubai was the wedding of Mohammed and Hind. On a big picture level, it was more like a trip than a wedding. The party took place close to Zabil's royal house. The huge sandy area in front of the castle was leveled and fenced off. The lighting poles were set up and painted. A venue with 20,000 seats was built just for the wedding. VIPs were the only ones who could get into the stadium, which shows how big the events were. There were tents outside for hundreds of thousands of regular Arabs. There was no other way for them to see an event like this one in the Emirates. 20 camels of a rare breed walked up to Hind and brought him gifts. These were gifts from Mohammed and friends from the royal family to the bride. A lot of them had jewelry, precious stones like rubies and diamonds, old dishes and rugs, and a few fancy cars. Every person who lived in the Emirate of Dubai got free food and activities for 5 days. A big flying show was put on in the sky for the first time in the city's history. It was also fun for the guests to watch camel races, which Mohammed Al Maktoum won without any conditions. He also gave his bride the gold cup he had won. The rich people who came to the party were shocked by how fancy it was. $173 million was spent on the holiday. It was so expensive that it made it into the Guinness Book of Records as the most expensive wedding ever. Before now, no woman in the world had a wedding that cost so much. Hind, who was 17 years old, was shocked by how luxurious everything was. After the party, she spent all of her time with her family. Over the next 20 years, she gave birth to 12 children with her husband. It's amazing that she gave birth almost every year. Hind also raised a number of foster boys and girls that she got from charities. Most of them were children who were taken from orphanages, but Mohammed is the father of some of Hind's children who are not from her own country. The lustful sheikh took them from his other women and gave them to his older wife to raise. According to people who were there, she not only didn't object, but she even seemed happy about it. The woman loves children so much that she has never made a difference between her own and other children. Hissa, the princess's first child, was born a year after the wedding. Rashid was born a year after that. He was going to take over as king of Dubai from his father. His mother used every part of her being to raise the future king, and indeed, he grew up to be a smart, strong-willed man that the people of Dubai hoped for. Her mother was very proud of her son, who was 33 years old and was a great athlete and heir to the throne. He died of a heart attack. This caused Hind a lot of pain, but she knew she didn't have to be sad. In the end, she had to raise and train other kids to become adults. Hind had to go through many more hard times. The sheikh probably doesn't even remember some of the women her husband had. Most of the time, Mohammed had 3 or 4 wives at a time, and every so often they would switch. This generally happened when his next wife fought with him. After that, he ended his relationship with the woman and took the kids home with him. Hind saw everything that was going on, but she took it all in stride because she was raised in strict Muslim ways. Plus, these customs say that she should always cover her face with a mask. A burqa is the name of this mask that Arab women in the Gulf countries wear. It is made of metallic-colored cloth. This word sounds like burqa, which is a word for a blanket that covers the whole face. As a sign of gender, the burqa, on the other hand, is worn to cover only part of the face. Arab women used to wear the burqa every day. Women over 50 now mostly have it though. In 2004, Hind was in for a very bad experience. It is lovely that Sheikh Mohammed married Princess Haya from Jordan. She was 12 years younger than Hind, looked better, was very busy, and wanted to do well. In contrast to the Sheikh's older wife, she went to all of Mohammed's events, did interviews, and engaged in public social activities. But this marriage failed horribly. After 15 years, Haya and her 2 kids ran away from the house. At the London court, she was able to claim her ex-husband for $730 million. It cost more than any other divorce in history. It's funny that Sheikh Mohammed set 2 world records with his women. He really spent a huge amount of money on his wedding to Hind. He had to give up even more, though, in order to formally break up with Haya. It looks like he doesn't feel bad about either of them. He did get more than money from both women, after all. As for Hind, she has done a great job bringing all of Mohammed's kids. Crown Prince Hamdan is working hard to make the Emirates better, and he is getting ready to take over as ruler of Dubai from his father. There are 7 more sons who work in business, science, and public service. Almost all of the girls have married and are now raising children. The First Lady is now more than 60 years old. As a mother, Hind has already done her job, and now she helps her husband run the Emirate. In addition to running the social world, she does a lot of volunteer work and works to get more Arab women into government positions. But as before, Hind doesn't use emotion in her work and doesn't brag about what she's done. Some say that these pictures don't show Hind, but rather Mama Noura, the nanny who helped Hind raise Sheikh Mohammed's kids, and that the few pictures of Hind were all taken when she was young. How do you feel about this? Post your thoughts below. The people of Dubai love and admire the First Lady of Dubai very much. For women in the area, Hind is a great example of what a real Muslim woman should be like. Through all of her husband's pranks and many affairs, she has been through both happiness and sadness with him. Maybe this is how a woman's love looks when she doesn't care about herself. Join the station and give it a like. Have a nice day.